Scott Galloway is with me, professor at Stern Business School. They didn't do anything wrong, these businesses, did they? They actually, you know, and there's a strong argument for saying they have employees too, and that the law or the program was designed for anybody with under 500 employees.
Well, sure. So, look, we needed to move quickly. You can empathize with the notion of flattening the curve around unemployment. And Richard, there's what you can do and there's what you should do. And I think this reflects a lack of character and code on the part of the CEO and the board of Shake Shack. This is a company that had a multi-billion-dollar market capitalization. And in general, I would argue they're the poster child today, which is probably a little bit unfair. But over the next 6 months, we're going to see thousands of instances of people who come from what is one of the wealthiest groups in the world, and that's small businesses. There's a cartoon of a single mother who owns a cupcake shop. But the reality is there are more billionaires from real estate and small business than anywhere else in America. And I think you're going to find that a lot of that $250 billion went to small businesses who, quite frankly, would have survived. And as is everything we do in this nation, it was largely a bailout or a flattening of the curve of the people who need it the least. We need to be in a position where we're protecting people, not businesses. A lot of these businesses, quite frankly, should just go away.
All right. Okay. So I read your article, Capitalist or Cronyist. Are you suggesting that in the case, for example, of the airlines and the really big businesses, that the correct thing to do is to go into Chapter 11 and restructure as a result during all this process, rather than, say, in the airlines cases, where they've had some grants, some loans, and they're going to get more loans?
I think that's exactly right. Airlines have gone bankrupt 66 times over the last 10 years, yet we're still able to get in an aluminum tube with recirculated air and get where we need to get for less money than it cost 20 years ago. The CEOs of United, Delta, and Carnival Cruises took $150 million in total compensation over the last 5 years. United took 96% of its free cash flow and used it to repurchase shares, which inflates the stock price, which inflates the compensation of the CEO. They want rugged individualism and capitalism on the way up, and then on the way down, we're socialists and we're all in this together, and they have their hand out. If Carnival Cruises goes out of business, it means the debt holders take control of the assets, the boats. There will be some temporary job loss, but as long as they keep making seniors, cruises are going to do just fine. And the debt holders own the company. Scott, they restructure. It's the equity that gets wiped out, Richard, not the jobs.
But Scott, I get your argument. I get your point. But that becomes capitalism at its most brutal, in the teeth of a crisis. The Carnival example is, yes, you're right, somebody will pick it up, but not before lots of people would have lost their jobs, arguably permanently, and this will be brutal capitalism.
That's exactly right. And the way we stop brutal capitalism is we protect people, not companies. That $250 billion is about to become $500 billion. There are 100 million households in the U.S. Take the bottom half that need it the most. That is, I believe, that would be $5,000 per household. You could give a $5,000 check to any household in America in the lower medium. These small businesses aren't suffering because of overemployment or underemployment. They're suffering because of demand destruction. Protect people, not jobs. All we're doing here, we have the worst type of capitalism. That is cronyism, and that is you're going to find the majority of that $250 billion went to pumping up with steroids a lot of businesses that A, shouldn't probably be around, or B, ensuring that Pop got to held on to all 5 dry cleaners instead of 4. What happens in an economic crisis? Prices should drop to their natural level, and then people like myself in the 2009 crisis get to buy Netflix at $12 a share. There is a whole generation of young people that we are borrowing money against to try and do the same thing we always do, and that is keep baby boomers rich. We need to protect people, not businesses.
Scott, controversial, but excellent to have you on the program. We'll talk more about it.
Thanks, Richard.
As always, thank you, sir, for taking time to joining us now.